welcome to Potato Fire Reviews. Today I'll be discussing the Emotiva BasX TA2 integrated amplifier along with the Emotiva B2 Plus Airmotiv bookshelf speakers, which were recently released. Emotiva is a company located in Franklin, Tennessee, and is widely known for their production of high-performance products for a low price. First, I'll talk about the amplifier, followed by the bookshelf speakers, and then together as a setup. I purchased the BasX TA2 for $899. It's a 2-channel class A/B amplifier rated 135 watts at 8 ohms and 200 watts at 4 ohms. In addition to the multiple inputs, it has a built-in DAC, phono preamp, Bluetooth, and most interestingly, a tuner. Physically, the amplifier is very solid with a steel chassis and weighs 25 pounds. From the top, the toroidal transformer is partially visible through the vents, and it's incredibly huge, about 5 inches wide. The phono preamp is pretty good and supports moving magnet and moving coil. The DAC is average and can be easily bypassed by using an external DAC. Bluetooth surpassed my expectation as I was able to stream from a closed room on the other side of my house. On the front, there are blue display lights, but I don't mind because it can be dimmed or turned off, and I actually think it enhances the look. The BasX TA2 has bass management, and it allows you to control the line level output as well as the subwoofer output. The overall sound of the amplifier is neutral, which means it does not place any emphasis on a particular frequency. Drawbacks of the TA2 is the remote is very flimsy, and the 2 cooling fans can be a bit loud when they're on. If you're wondering how loud it gets, at volumes that are low, I can hear it from a foot away. And if there's no music playing, the fans are audible from about 6 feet away. This is how the amplifier looks from the back. There are 4 pairs of analog line-in inputs and 4 digital inputs. This is the AC power switch, and when it's off, the TA2 cannot be turned on from the front. I use the switch often because when the amplifier is in standby mode, there's a slight hum from the device. Right here is the trigger input and output, and this feature allows the amplifier to turn on automatically when it receives a signal, or allows an external device such as another amplifier to be turned on if the TA2 sends a signal. There is only 1 pair of speaker terminals, and it's pretty hefty. There are so many connectors, but unfortunately, no XLR connectors. Emotiva B2 costs $499 and is a 2-way rear-ported loudspeaker. It has a 6.5-inch woven fiber cone woofer and a 32mm folded ribbon tweeter. It's rated at 4 ohm, 86 dB, and extends as low as 40 hertz. The overall build quality is impressive as each cabinet weighs 16 pounds, has magnetic grills, and the exterior is wrapped with a textured black vinyl that looks like faux leather. The front bezel is indented to assist in reducing diffraction effects, and it has multiple coats of satin finish black lacquer that is resistant to fingerprints. From the front of the cabinet to the back is almost 12 inches, so I'll suggest using a pair of sturdy stands. Here, I'm using the Pangea DS400, which currently has an MSRP of $250. Overall, the B2 has a neutral and detailed sound signature. The treble was really refined, mid-range was clear, bass was full sounding but a bit inadequate than what I expected. The only drawback of the B2 is the lack of color options. Emotiva, please try to include some different options in your upcoming designs. In my opinion, an all black speaker on a black stand powered by a black amplifier can be a bit boring. When comparing the B2 to the recently released Klipsch RP600M2, I would actually choose the RP600M2 if my amplifier has tone controls to adjust the brightness. Both speakers are neutral sounding, but I find the RP600M2 to have a more tight bass, wider soundstage, better looking, and will have a higher resale value. I connected the TA2 to the B2 using Blue Jeans Canary 11 gauge cables and placed them 10 feet apart. After listening for over 100 hours, here are my conclusions. Very neutral sound with lush mid-range and wonderful high notes. Soundstage was deep and wide. Hey 19 by Steely Dan sounded so good that I was floored by the clarity. This $1,400 audiophile system is an excellent value for your money. The TA2 has 2 optical inputs, which could be connected to your TV to facilitate a home theater setting. I would strongly recommend this integrated amplifier for someone who's new to hi-fi, as it has many features to get familiar with. You would be able to experiment with pre-outs, sub-out, phase control, and home theater bass setting. There's also tone controls and a subwoofer volume adjuster to fine-tune your sound. Having all of these features on your first amplifier would greatly benefit you in deciding which features are important or not when choosing a more expensive amp if you decide to upgrade. Also, 135 watts at 8 ohms is a lot of power, which is more than enough if you decide to upgrade to tower speakers. Well, that's it for my review. Consider subscribing and feel free to express your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, cheers.